Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip that whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and of course, in our lives. Let's jump right on in. I'm Andy, and joining me is my life partner in everything, Minna.
So we call ourselves chronically healthy life. So a lot of our show revolves around health, right?
Yes.
Around what we eat, what we put into our mouth.
Correct. What we put in our mouth, what we introduce into our bodies. And I think that's very important. What people realize is you are what you eat, right?
So I think it's just not just about what we eat.
Hmm.
It's also about what we put on our skin, what we inject ourselves with, all those things,
Yes,
right? So it's
yes,
everything that goes into our body, up there, the air we breathe and everything, right?
exactly. And before we get into our whole slideshow here, I just want to say we're not doctors. And these are our opinions only. So always, whatever we share, consult with your doctors first before making your own decisions.
So as babies, I know you want to show this one,
Yes.
which is
It's interesting slide. If you are baby boomers, Gen X, you can see in the slide in 1986, these are the number of, I guess, injections you get within the first 12 months. And if you look at 2024, this is like the latest slide that is being, I guess, recommended for parents to protect their children. And literally now they're a pincushion. I can't even count them all. I think there's like 24 shots that they're expecting your kid to have before they're 1 years old. And this is insane because baby's immune system hasn't even developed by the time they're 1 years old.
for sure, and that's why there's a lot of babies now that's developing conditions that we don't have before.
Exactly. All these allergies and things that's happening, all these chronic conditions, perhaps this might be causing some of that.
For sure. So when we talking to other people, everybody says they do their own research, right? But
Yes.
how exactly are they doing research? I think that's a question.
Yeah, it's interesting. You really have. It's getting harder and harder to do your research. Here's another slide, which is very recent, and Min and I, we've been talking about this, and of course, we were just speculating 3 years ago that the latest batch of injections, that's what I'm gonna call it, you can read it yourself. I don't want to get in trouble. May have problems. They may have contaminants that may cause problems with your immune system, your heart, your brain, your nervous system, and even potentially causing cancer. And this latest peer-reviewed study has showed that the latest injections have a large amount of residual DNA in them, like literally DNA that is more than any injection ever.
Which is weird because why would you have DNA in a immunization?
Exactly. And one of the things that's interesting is they have something called an SV40 promoter enhancer. And that is a DNA that is associated with creating cancer. So I don't know. That's all that study is saying. We're not saying anything, but potentially this is what you're putting inside your body. So you have to really decide when they're telling you it's safe and effective, is it safe and effective? Do your own research.
Well, the another thing is a lot of people talk about they eat healthy,
Yes,
and usually what that means is they eat cereal in the morning, they eat a salad for lunch, and then they have a glass of wine in the at night, and they call that healthy.
exactly, exactly. And then it sounds pretty healthy, right? Start your day right with cereal. Here's an interesting slide. This is by EWG. And I don't know if any of you guys heard of glyphosate, but EWG did a research, and essentially all cereals and protein bars have glyphosate in them.
I guess all the cereals that you can find at like a grocery store, right?
Yes.
Anything
Yes.
that's come in a box, unless you make your own, we make our own.
Yeah, but even organic cereal can actually have glyphosate because the wheat is being dried using glyphosate as a desiccant, like a drying agent.
And glyphosate is actually in just being sued for a lot of damages.
Yeah,
right?
especially for non-Hodgkin's cancer. They actually won a couple of times already. But people need to be aware of glyphosate can cause a lot of problems. It's known to show issues causing kidney disease, reproductive problems, liver damage, birth defects, and like you said, cancer. And glyphosate was originally designed as a chelating agent. So what it does is if it's in the soil, guess what? It's going to bind with all the minerals. So even if your plants were growing in healthy soil, the plants can't get a hold of those minerals.
So what he's trying to say is if there's glyphosate on the plants, it would take away the nutrients from the plants. So when
Correct.
you're eating the plants itself, there's no more nutrients.
Exactly. You know how when they have those nutrition labels, kale is supposed to have all these vitamins, all the minerals. Well, guess what? It cannot absorb that because that's glyphosate on it. Pretty crazy, right?
And glyphosate is also an antibiotic, is that right?
Yes, it's also acts as an antibiotic. So it kills bacteria in the soil. So once again, which is bad. But when you're eating it, you are what you eat. So it's going to be killing all your gut bacteria, not only your bad, but your good bacteria too.
Yeah, and that is a problem because I had a lot of antibiotics as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always having these circles, having problems with a lot of problems.
Exactly.
I had a lot of gut issues, and that could be why.
Exactly. And now, you're not even going to get antibiotics from your medical professionals. You're actually getting it from your food supply.
Yeah, now I refuse to take antibiotics, regardless of what happens.
Exactly. And I wanted to end this with a funny slide. This is a cow farting. This is a cow farting. And what's sort of ridiculous right now, they are trying to prevent cows from farting because farting causes methane and global warming. So they have this new supplement called, I can't remember how to pronounce it. I think it's called Bovier. And it basically, it's a supplement that they give dairy cows and they'll fart 30% less. And for meat cows, it will fart 40% less, which will cause less global warming.
I mean, are they giving that to people too? Because people fart too.
I know there's a lot more people than cows. I don't know. I think it's sort of ridiculous when you got all these private jets that's flying all over the place with actors, politicians, and these singer rock stars, and they're blaming it on cows. So, but anyways, that's what we wanted to end with. We like we said in the beginning of the segment, be wary of what you consciously put into your body, but more importantly, do the research of the things that's going into your body without you knowing about it.
I think it is getting harder and harder to actually figure out how these things are getting into our lives. So I think it is good that because we keep up with all the research.
Yes.
Right? We keep learning ourselves and we get our information from the top doctors and top research people. So if you want to get a consultation with us, just help us schedule a free 30-minute consult and we can start from there.
Exactly. Work with the functional nutritionist, work with us. We're gonna have an amazing guest later today, Lizzy Gaines. Work with her. She's gonna give you a lot of tips to help detox too. The main thing is now that you got the damage, you need to figure out how to get it out.
For sure. So we're gonna take a break.
We'll be right back. Imagine a life where every day is fueled by energy, vitality, and purpose. Where age is just a number and your best years are always ahead. Hi, I'm Andy Nam, certified functional nutrition longevity coach, best-selling author, and international speaker. After reversing my own chronic health struggles, I'm now on a mission to help you live longer, stronger, and of course to look younger. I combine biohacking, cutting-edge nutrition, and stem cell technology to unlock your body's full potential. So no matter where your starting point is, I'm going to guide you toward a chronically healthy life. Ready to reverse aging and take control of your future? Connect with me today. Your journey to longevity starts here.
Welcome to Chronically Healthy Life. So in our biohacking segment today, since the weather's turning cold, why don't we make some hot chocolate? Now, hot chocolate, when I was a kid, my mom used to just buy the ones that come out of packet. They just add water to it, and she called it hot chocolate, which is kind of true, but there's better ways to make it, and it's really not that hard. All you have to do is, you need a pot, obviously. So I'm going to use 3 cups of, I have soy milk, and you can use any kind of milk you want. It could be almond milk or coconut milk, whichever one you have. But we make our own soy milk. So that's what I'm using. So that's 3 cups of soy milk. And to make it creamier, I am adding 1 cup of heavy cream. If you are lactose intolerant, you can buy coconut cream, and it works about the same. Of course, it tastes a little different. Now to make it keto, what I have here is unsweetened cocoa powder. So that is about a 1/4 cup. And put them into the pot. Okay. And just to make it a little more interesting, I also have some unsweetened chocolate chips. And I'm going to put them in. And that's about a 1/4 cup or so. And I have about a tablespoon of monk fruit sugar, which is 0 glycemic. So that would not spike your blood sugar. And I have some warming spices. I have some cardamom, which is probably about like a pinch, maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon. So add all that in, and I have about a 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Organic, it's warming, and it's really good, high antioxidants. And I have about a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And the last thing I have is like a pinch of salt, so maybe like a 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So all you have to do is put them all in a pot, bring them to a boil. It takes about, depending what kind of chocolate you use, take maybe like 20 to 15 minutes to make it, to simmer it on low. Make sure it doesn't boil over, because you have now that you have milk and everything, it's going to boil over really easily. But so put it on a low setting and let it boil for about 10-15 minutes until the chocolate is melted. And I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like after. All right, so I'm back. So make sure when you're warming the hot chocolate, and you just whisk it, stir it occasionally. Just keep it well stirred. And that's all it takes. And that's as simple as that to make your own hot chocolate. So this is what it looks like. Homemade hot chocolate. It's actually keto. And if you want, you can top it up with some whipped cream of your choice. You can use different spices if you like. I use warming spices, but you can use different ones. You can also use a pinch of cayenne pepper to make it more like a Mexican hot chocolate. So, or marshmallows if you like that. So that's it. This is your homemade hot chocolate, and I'll see you again next week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. I'm Christy Boyd Johnson, your co-host today. And today it is my pleasure to introduce Lizzy Gaines. She is a nutrition coach with a focus on food for healing and who is passionate about nourishment and food and researching everything going on in today's world that makes us sick and stay sick. She provides an option to people who really want to keep themselves cleaned up and feeling their best and thriving. After years of suffering with dangerous genetic dispositions to mental health issues and type 2 diabetes, she hit upon a code to eliminate and alter mental health struggles and gain more well-being than she ever felt during the peak of her fitness career. Between 2011 and 2015, she changed her routines, tried various medications, and altered her dietary habits, but nothing could prepare her for the discovery of the true roots to all these problems. Today, she's here to empower you by sharing her story and clearing our pathways so we can all thrive. Welcome, 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 Lizzy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone who's watching. And I am so excited to be here with you all.
Well, I would like to hear a little more of your story of this journey that you went on. Can you share a little bit more about your journey to well-being?
Yeah. So I just by nature have always been a very just happy person and silly and adventurous and curious and kind. And there was a really stressful, strange part of my journey through life that I just started to crash. And I really needed answers because I didn't feel like myself anymore. And I needed to take care of two small children who were only 16 months apart. And one has very significant special needs. And at the time I was married. So I had a lot on my shoulders. And I thought, I'd need to get my act together. I've got to figure out what the heck. And long story short, I found out about things environmentally and nutritionally that were greatly impacting what I was going through. So it's been an adventure, and I'm very excited to share more about what I learned and how I learned it, and how you can too if you feel like you're struggling in life and not feeling your best, not feeling like yourself, and something's just wrong.
Well, I would really I think everyone has tried the doctor route. You know, we've been kind of programmed in our society to run to the doctor for every little thing. And I have to say the disclaimer, this is my opinion. So, everybody has to do what they feel is right. But I would like to hear more about how the true roots of what you discovered.
Okay. I also wanted to go to the doctor and get fixed, but I did not have insurance during this crisis of my life that was very specific to those years that you mentioned in that introduction, those 2010s-ish, early 2010s. So I ended up meeting a few people who believed in natural healing, and so supplements and some antibiotic damage reversal, gut health, some things that maybe are kind of like buzzwords right now. I started learning about those things. I started exercising to try to gain back this sense of control over my body and feeling better and getting a good boost of happy chemicals in the brain, But the interesting thing that I did not see coming, the train that ended up hitting me, was how on a cellular level I had been breaking down for a long time. And when I discovered what that cause was, those roots, it just blew my mind. So things like pesticides, things like artificial sweeteners, things like the yo-yo diet cycle that is very common in our country, and I was one of them. Things like environmental toxins, fragrances, perfumes, toiletries, hair products, colognes, soaps, toothpaste, you name it. I had no idea. And a history of medication that altered my health for the negative in my case. Not always, because there were some things that obviously helped, or else, I'd be dead. There are some things that medicine saved my life. And for this particular topic that we're going through today, I discovered that they were part of some of the problem I was facing.
That's true. Like, I can't tell you how many times someone, myself included, we talk to people and they're on antibiotics for something. And I always say, if you need it, take it. That's what it's there for. But when you're done, you have to rebuild your system.
Yes. And I didn't know that. Nobody told me. Nobody told me about recovering from medical bouts of, just how the system works. Treatments, yes. Right. And now I know. Now I know how important that is. And I can look back and see things from my childhood and think, oh my goodness, there were signs that I didn't know. Nobody knew this stuff. And so the research that's coming out now is so exciting. And we get to be part of the solution for so many people to beat the odds rather than falling into the cracks. That makes me happy.
Yes. I think that probably the biggest enemy of shifting into this different way of thinking and being is the overwhelming amount of actual information that comes in at us. Like, oh my gosh, household cleaners, laundry detergent, shampoo, toothpaste, food, medicine.
It's everywhere.
Breathing.
How do we escape? We're all going down. It's a sinking ship.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be that complicated. I promise.
It's not. Yeah. And I'm a big believer in taking baby steps, one thing at a time. So did you find that helped you? Like, I'm going to pick one thing and kind of tackle it?
That is not my personality, my friend. I went all in head first and never looked back. I would watch YouTube videos and read scientific journals. And I prayed a lot. I am a prayer. I went to this person and that person and this Facebook group and this Instagram. And, you're talking to somebody who's done 10 plus years of learning about this, because it was so crucial to saving my life so that I could just be me. And that's how extreme it was for me. And not everybody's in that same predicament. And God bless you. I hope you never are. But if you need somebody that can help with that process, talk to me. I know a thing or two. I'd be happy to help.
Well, now, I'm going to ask you a question, because my focus is always kids. Being a former teacher, my whole life is revolved around children. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but have you found that your process has helped your children?
Absolutely.
Because
thank you for asking.
Especially since you're dealing with some developmental issues and special needs. So
yeah, we could dabble in that for a moment. I could tell you a little bit. Sure. So I mentioned I have two kiddos, two sons. They are 16 months apart in age. And my firstborn has a extremely rare chromosome disorder, which meant everything that you're supposed to be able to do normal with a brain that just does things that you don't have to ask it to do, his brain couldn't figure out how to do, except for breathing and his heartbeat, which is good. But even then it was a little bit of a struggle, because he has, muscle tone issues and learning issues. He had swallowing issues. He had digestive issues. He has had vision issues, hearing issues. He's had more surgeries than I can count, which are all minor, which is amazing because his chromosome is right next to some heart tissue and bronchial tissue. So he managed to just scoot by that by a point something something. And in the DNA world, he's just an oddball, and you work based on symptoms. So for him, getting this toxin thing figured out has meant that all of this uphill struggle can at least be combated with the best body possible. He's not fighting against aluminum toxicity and, like his stomach doesn't work right, so he can't think straight, or, having to have very picky foods because it's difficult for him to texturally or sensory wise handle a lot of other things. I know what I can make him that are safe and healthy. Knowing what supplements are going to support an endocrine system that doesn't work right. So there's a lot of significance to this for him, but definitely. And then my youngest boy, who is significantly taller than me now, which is crazy. They grow so fast. He's had some very significant anxiety issues. And if you're talking to somebody who's been in the mental health world and learning about how nutrition impacts that, I helped him with his anxiety by knowing what kinds of supplements and vitamins and minerals were going to support that. We have a family history of this on both sides. It wasn't a surprise, but now I have such better options for him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Well,
it's exciting stuff.
Yeah. I've seen miracles happen with parents who kind of wake up and in the smallest thing, stop giving their kids soda and start giving them water and electrolytes, and massive change just with that.
Yes.
And go ahead.
And if you don't mind me just adding, also part of my career in fitness and nutrition includes being able to be intuitive. If you're self-aware about what makes you feel lousy and you give yourself permission to eat what makes you feel good, you can do that starting in childhood. So there's a funny story with my younger son who does not have intellectual disabilities. He was really obsessed with a certain type of spicy snack chip that I'm not going to say the brand, but he could eat the whole bag in one sitting if he wanted to. And I told him, okay, go for it. It's one of the most toxic foods I can possibly think of for a teenager to snack on. But I know if he feels like garbage and I let him just figure that out for himself, he can self-regulate. And sure enough, he threw up at school the next day. And I was like, so what'd you think about that? He's like, I'm never doing that again. So it doesn't even have to be a fight because he feels lousy.
Yeah.
And I let him just kind of learn that for himself. So
yeah.
He actually prefers eating healthy things. So
that is brilliant. Kids figure it out if they're guided to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because those, I think I know which one of those toxic, they're full of chemicals and food coloring, and whatever he barked was probably like frighteningly bright.
It might have been hot red and shaped like a stick.
Yep. I can't tell you how many kids ate those all the time, and I would sit there going, oh,
yeah,
I don't even want to deal with the next hour in class because they're going to be bouncing off the walls. But so that's really good, because that guidance when they're children, they grow up and then they don't have so many battles later to correct things that, like that.
Yeah, it's not an emotional conundrum anymore. It's well, if you feel good or you feel terrible, your body will detox the garbage if you're in good enough condition, and it's not a big deal. And then in other cases, like live and learn, and maybe you actually prefer eating things that make you feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know that we're going to have a little talk about how to read labels and compare, and then talk a little bit about some tips to help you start transitioning over in a simple, easy, effortless way. But before we do that, we're going to take a little break. So please come back and join me back with Lizzy after this break.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy. For improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show, and our guest today, Lizzy Gaines. So, Lizzy, I like this concept of clearing the pathways. What do you consider the most important pathways? I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. The most important pathways for us to clear in our bodies to help us get to the next level.
Okay, so clearing the pathways is a fancy way of saying that you already have pathways to remove junk that your body knows doesn't belong there. That can be physical in terms of the tissues of the body, as well as in the invisible, such as frequencies, vibrations, and sensing, the sensory system. So your pathways that need to be clear in the physical body are going to be the lymphatic system, largely the lymphatic system. That connects directly with your blood circulatory system, your liver, and in through the entire digestive process. Those all work together, as well as your skin. So your skin being clear is not, I don't have any pimples. It's, can your pores get stuff out in like a sauna or a good sweat sesh? Those are the clearing the pathways of the physical body. That way stuff can get out very easily. Then we have clearing pathways of the mind as well as emotions. Are we able to self-regulate? Are your nerves and the influences around you going to be positive or negative? Are they going to be higher frequency or low frequency? Because those impact your health so much. So the music we listen to, the emotions that we're feeling, the people that we're around, are we able to remove negative, which sounds silly, but the low vibrations that make us sick? Cancer itself has a lower vibration than health. So can we get those also in a really good, strong state?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have the people, we are not just bodies. We are minds, we are emotions, we are spiritual, we are all these different things. We are so much more than we appear to be. Well, okay, so something near and dear to my heart is, I haven't done this much. I've done it a little bit, but making your own stuff. For me, my big one is household cleaners. It drives me crazy to anything with laundry or dishes or cleaning the house. It drives me crazy. I don't buy toxic cleaners. First of all, especially now, in the cold weather that I'm experiencing where I live now, the house is closed up and the heat is on. And if I spray something toxic in the bathroom to get, like, I know I'm choking and coughing, and I don't. Yeah, and plus I don't like to spend money on that stuff because I know it's toxic, and it's not just toxic for me; it's toxic for the environment. It goes into the water and becomes a vicious cycle. So, I want to talk about some really easy ways. Like, I think there's some foundational stuff we can buy to have in the house that we can make real easy to make, cleaners and stuff that also won't break our bank accounts. Because that's the other thing. They're very expensive. And then you end up throwing away a big bottle that goes into the landfill.
Yeah. So what if there was a way to get rid of toxins and save money? Too good to be true, right? It's not too good to be true. This is where I love to be a geek about this stuff. I'm a little bit of a numbers nerd. Another part of my past is going to school for engineering and chemistry. So I like being a nerd. I'm totally proud of it.
Nerd,
yes. And so your question was, tell me your question again, so I can answer.
Well, like for example, vinegar is a foundational product. Like, I buy big jug of vinegar and use it for lots of different stuff. But what are the foundational, like, if I want to switch over to cleaning my house all naturally, I'm going to have to make at least one trip to the store to buy the foundational products to start out. And so what would be an easy way? What would be the things, like, simple way to start?
Okay. So just a disclaimer, quick, throw this out there so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. I'm going to compare and contrast something really quick.
Okay.
If we go to companies that say we are a clean, safe, non-toxic company, you're automatically going to be paying more. Mm-hmm. Guarantee it. Prove me wrong. I'd love to hear from you. But that being said, if you are willing to make your own, it is initial investment that saves money in the long run because you're getting larger amounts at once that you won't need all at once. Mm-hmm. Whereas the cleaners that you're buying individually that are overpriced compared to its neighbor on the shelf by ounces, you're going to be using a smaller, or buying that in a smaller context in that moment. Whereas you're buying something big as an investment that you can make at home over years. So things that we want to definitely have on our shelves year round. Vinegar, white vinegar, you want to have it in the correct percentage amount. It is currently being sold in a lower percentage of acidity than it should be. I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's being sold often with 4%, but should be 5% or higher. Does that sound right? I'm trying to remember. That level of acidity is going to be where you have cleaning power or pickling. People who pickle know this by heart, because if it's not a high enough acidity, you're not killing off microbes anymore. So it needs to be high enough percentage. And then if the smell of vinegar drives you crazy, I hate it. It makes me want to barf because it smells sour. So I prefer hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is another fabulous alternative compared to vinegar if the smell bothers you. And then we have isopropyl alcohol. That one should be 70% or higher. 90% is great, just you don't need to use as much. And then Castile soap. You can get this in a liquid form, and it is a fantastic base for a lot of different things. If you like liquid laundry detergents, liquid dishwasher detergents, and liquid other body care type soaps. Then we have washing soda, which is different than baking soda. Both are fabulous to keep stocked at all times. And borax is another really fantastic thing to keep at home. Borax is an antifungal. We don't talk about antifungals as much with household products as we should. We talk a lot about mold and mildew, but fungal problems are sneaky little boogers. So borax will help deal with that, especially in your clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. I add borax to my laundry. I've been doing that for years, but I didn't know about the fungal thing. That's good to know.
Yes. There's a whole slew of essential oils that I won't get into right now, but some basic, really good ones to have on hand all the time would be tea tree oil, aka melaleuca, lemon, and personally, I love having vanilla oil because it just smells really good to anything you add it to.
Yes, it does. And
Peppermint's
peppermint.
another good one. Yes.
Yeah.
I
And
will keep those 4.
peppermint has the added benefit. I make a spray out of peppermint and spray it to freshen the house.
Yeah.
And it also helps with just like focus and brightening up. I used to spray it in my classroom to help the kids.
I love that.
Yeah. They would like, will you spray us, Miss J?
That's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I love it. And it's very benign. Not a lot of people have problems with peppermint. So those 4 basic ones, not a lot of people have issues with. Orange oil is another fun one. Frankincense is another fun one. But just as the basics, because that's what we're talking about, the basics. Those would be my personal recommendations.
I learned a trick, and it comes in so handy if you're like at a conference or at work and you keep some essential oil in your purse or in your desk, wherever. And if you know you're going to have to use the restroom for number 2, if you put a couple drops in the toilet bowl before, and it kills the smell.
And that's the cheapest. I almost said the brand, the company, but that's the cheapest of the spray in the bowl ever.
Yeah, it's straight right out of the little bottle. Drop the couple 2-3 drops of the essential oil right into the toilet bowl, and then do your business. And it kills the smell. And then you leave the bathroom without that lovely
your remnants.
Yes, following you out and being embarrassing. Especially I think it's worse for women, but so yeah. And lemon really works well for that. Any of the citruses work especially well for that.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah. I learned that.
And household products too, because the fresh lemon scent can be so rewarding if you like that. I just cleaned the house smell.
Yeah. You can also, if you're at home, and you can also do it after you flush, put a couple more drops in the bowl too.
Ooh.
That if you're at home, it helps there too.
And lemon would help your bowl stay clean.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Clever.
And you only need like 2 or 3 drops. So it's very economical.
Big fan of that.
So tips.
I love it.
Well, now for an air freshener, besides peppermint, do you have any special favorite air freshener smell that you make, like a formula?
Okay, so favorite air freshener, because that's a great question. Thank you for asking about that specifically, because a lot of fragrances really are quite toxic and can cause kidney cancer and stomach cancer, which is not talked about very much, but the research is coming out because unfortunately it takes people to get really sick to draw attention to it. Mm-hmm. So replacing your air fragrances is a fantastic idea. I really, really like warm vanilla peppermint. If you mix those 2 together, it's like this, I don't know. It's like everything wonderful about smelling fresh baked cookies emotionally, but it's also perking you up because of the peppermint, and it's just so cozy and yummy. And if you want to also add a little bit of orange in there, it gives me kind of that cozy fall feeling or fall/winter. You can also do an orange, cinnamon, and vanilla in your spray as well. So what you do is you want to do a base of distilled water, and then something that helps the oils vaporize a little bit. So you're going to use, you can use I don't really like the vinegar smell. So I would do either vodka or an isopropyl alcohol.
Right.
And then that helps it vaporize the oils a little bit, if that's the right word. And then you put in, depending on if it's like a little bottle about this size, you can buy them real easy on Amazon or something like that. Little glass bottles, spray bottles. You'd probably put about 5 to 10 drops of each of the scents that you really like in there.
That's perfect. Yeah. And play with it and find what you like too.
For sure.
Yeah. Because there's vanilla is one of those that's universal, but I think the minty ones, a lot of times, like I happen to absolutely love wintergreen, but I know people who absolutely detest it.
Yes.
So it's like, I'll use it at my house, but I wouldn't force that on someone else because I know they don't like it. So find what you like. And yeah. Oh, I love this. So that leads me to, I understand you have a freebie for how can people find you?
So the freebie is an ebook full of at-home saving money recipes for homemade products. And you can find me at on Instagram at personal.gains with a Z .nutrition, or you can email me anytime. I love to hear from people. Lizzy, Lizzy, at thenutritiondetox.com.
And the QR code on the screen will take you directly to Lizzy's freebie. And I got a preview of it, and it's very cool. Lots of to detox your house, simple, easy, economical, and get you started right now today on that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today. It's been really, really fun talking to you.
Thank you so much, Christy. And I really appreciate everyone who's here with us. And I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to reach out. Let's chat.
Yeah, reach out. All right, everybody. Stay tuned. After the break, we're coming right back. Hi, I'm Christy Boyd Johnson, and if you are ready to change your child's education out of this model and into this model, then I'm right there with you. Give me a call or email me and let's chat and let's do this together, because when we team up, we're unstoppable. Barefoot Learning Club, foundation plus imagination equals genius.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. Energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life show. I love a lot of those tips that Lizzy was talking about because it's so true. You know, the house is where we spend the most time in, and it is literally the most toxic place that you can be in. And like, it's funny because before we got into nutrition, remember we used to like using those Febreze sprays and those things. And I remember what my best friend says, Andy, your house smells the best. And now, you know, in retrospect, it was like we're literally poisoning ourselves and poisoning our cats. It was just horrible, you know.
You know, it is empowering to hear Lizzy talk about how to, you know, how she takes control of, you know, cleaning the house the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we start COVID like 4 years ago,
Correct.
you know how everybody's using bleach and they
Oh
killing
my
everything.
gosh, yes.
They wiping the counters with it, and that's actually killing all your gut bacteria. That's killing your immune system, and that's how actually your kids got sick. Your
Yes.
pets got sick really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's empowering to hear that. And, you know, she takes control of learning it, you know, to take care of her family. And you can do it too. There are books, you know, everywhere that you can learn how to take steps to use simple things like salt and vinegar and baking soda. And that's all you need to clean the house.
Exactly. And, you know, definitely reach out to her. She's giving away her free ebook on that. And like she says, where do you value your health? Like you may pay a little bit more initially, but it's going to end up so much cheaper than the mass brand stuff that you buy, but you're going to be so much healthier for it.
For sure. And then actually, you know, the cost worked out a lot less.
Mm-hmm. In the long term, right?
Yeah. In the long run, a lot less. And you're saving the planet because you're reusing your own bottles.
Exactly.
So who do we have next week?
Next week, we have Daniel Aaron. I did a boo-boo with him last time. So we got that all squared away, and he will be joining us next week.
So join us back here on Friday, 7 p.m. CST. You can watch past episodes at watch.e360tv.com in the Vitality TV network or on our YouTube channel at Chronically Healthy Life.
And of course, we always want to listen for any comments or anything we can improve on or anything that you want to learn more of. Email us. And if you want to get your free consult, we got a 30-minute consult. Scan that QR code, set up your time, and let's help you live a chronically healthy life.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
We are Mutts and Meows Rescue, a 501c3 nonprofit, foster-based, no-kill group. Mutts and Meows Rescue pulls dogs and cats from surrounding shelters in the greater Houston area. We even pick up dogs and cats abandoned on the streets. Mutts and Meows Rescue is foster-based and rely on your donations to keep rescuing. To know more about us is to know more about our furry friends and help them find their forever homes. Come visit us at Mutts and Meows Rescue on Facebook today and decide how you can make a difference.